FFT Express. Let's do it. Beat the waiver wire and recapping Thursday night's bonanza right now. That is Dave and I am Adam. And all right, Dave, you spent some time looking at players to stash. What do you got?
I got nothing.
All right, great. Well, have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too. Okay, I got a few names for you. Which position would you like to start with? Keeping in mind it's the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings that are on bye in week number 6.
Yeah, I mean, might as well start with the quarterbacks, right?
I mean, I was thinking wide receivers because there's a lot of wide receivers that are going to be
you.
We'll go your way with quarterbacks, and the list is short. Andy Dalton's got the Falcons. Daniel Jones has Cincinnati. That matchup is intriguing if Neighbors is cleared, but that's really about it. There are not a lot of quarterbacks.
Man, where's my guy, Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson isn't somebody that I'm excited about starting to begin with. And
with Jones.
He's at Philadelphia in week 6.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can use Deshaun Watson as your bye week replacement at quarterback.
Luckily, I don't have any Mahomes, any Stafford, or any Darnold, so I will not be needing a quarterback, but I will definitely need some wide receivers. So why don't we go to wide receivers next?
And then this is a big list, so I'm going to pare it down. I'm going to give you 7 names, and a lot of these names you've heard about on the show over the past week. These are all guys that are available under 60%, 65% rather, on CBS. Josh Downs, who I don't mind in week 5, but certainly week 6 against Tennessee, if he's going to stay in the slot, that's a good thing. Xavier Leggett against Chicago in week 5, against Atlanta in week 6. Wan'Dale Robinson, and this is probably more so if Neighbors doesn't play. We know about his matchup against Seattle in week 5. He's got the Bengals in week 6. We've already touched on that game. Jalen Tolbert has the Lions in week 6. If Brandon Cooks is still out, then Tolbert theoretically would be maybe the number 3 target behind CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson for the Dallas Cowboys. I have some names that are just worth stashing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily guys that you'd want to start in week 6, but Christian Watson has tumbled. He's available in about half of CBS leagues. Quentin Johnston's available in 40%. Trey Tucker about 50%. Those are 3 wide receivers that I wouldn't mind just putting on my bench, seeing what happens as the season unfolds.
Yeah. And if you're in a really deep league, Jalen Tolbert is someone that with Cooks with this knee infection, I don't know that's a huge deal anyway, but I just kind of like Jalen Tolbert, and he is barely rostered. All right, what else we got? Other players to stash or pick up?
Let's go to running back. Trey Sermon is obviously going to be a hot name in the next 48 hours. If Jonathan Taylor gets ruled out, you can grab him now. He's got the Titans in week 6. It's not the easiest matchup, but the workload will be there. What about stashing Antonio Gibson? He makes the threshold. What if he ends up being the best running back for New England moving forward? He's got Houston in week 6. Not an easy matchup, but if he's going to get 15 touches, you wouldn't mind having him as a bye week replacement at running back. Other guys, and these are low end, but it's bye week replacements. Tyjae Spears has the Colts. Emmanuel Wilson has the Cardinals. Roshan Johnson has the Jaguars.
Yeah, Spears is still someone that has as much upside as any handcuff, if we got to call him a handcuff, plus some standalone value. He could always catch 4 passes or something like that. So Spears is definitely, I've seen him dropped in a lot of leagues. What is it, about 65% roster or something like that?
He's right around. He's under the threshold. I think it's like 62%.
And tight ends?
The only name I came up with was Tyler Conklin, who's got the Bills in week 6. I still think they're going to have some issues defending the middle of the field, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to need to throw in that game. But Taysom Hill's on the list is someone you can wait for. Eric All is another name that if you have some patience, probably for the people in deeper leagues, that's a tight end that you could go ahead and stash.
Evan Ingram, 72%. I know it's not quite the threshold, but 72% for Evan Ingram.
Yeah, if he's there, he trumps all those guys.
All right, man. Let's take a break and come back and recap last night's game. And then we'll try to save some time for questions if we have those. I will be right back on Fantasy Football Today Express. You said on the show, I didn't know if you were joking, you really don't know what happened in the Mets game last night?
I really don't.
Pete Alonso is the first player in baseball history to hit a go-ahead run while trailing in the 9th inning of a winner-take-all postseason game. He had a 3-run homer in the top of the 9th inning. It was insane. All right. but not as insane. No, as insane, but equally as insane as Kirk Cousins throwing for more than 500 yards. Is Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts, are they back?
I think you can make the argument for both of them. Pitts more so because of the position that he plays. Cousins more so because I'm not sure that, look, 58 pass attempts, that's not going to happen again, but I'm not sure if the Falcons don't embrace him and let him keep throwing 30, 35 times a game. I don't know if they have the defense that can stop anybody. So there could be some positive game scripts. And he's got some mojo working in the fourth quarter and overtime now. We've seen it against Philadelphia, saw it a little bit against New Orleans. Now this game against Tampa Bay. I think Kirk Cousins, he would be on the bye week list because he's got Carolina in week 6 as someone that you could use as a bye week replacement. You just can't pick him up anymore because he's already played in week 5.
Are you spite dropping Bijan Robinson for Tyrone Tracy? No, I'm just kidding. But are you concerned about Bijan Robinson?
But there are concerns about Bijan. I think next week is a telltale game for him. Is he still splitting carries against Carolina? Is he ineffective against Carolina? These are all things that make me sick in my guts. I don't want to see it. I want Bijan Robinson to go for $150 and 2 tutties against Carolina next week. But even if he has half of that, I'll be happy. If he doesn't do half of that, I've got more concerns.
All right, I want to update you on something here. Joe Mixon is unlikely to play. Just seeing this news come across from Ian Rappaport. So, yeah, Cam Akers or Trey Sermon if Jonathan Taylor is out.
I'll lean toward Trey Sermon, but that's more about the devil I don't know versus the devil I know. And I also know that Cam Akers is not going to play on passing downs. And if by some way the Texans are trailing against Buffalo, which is a possibility, you'll probably see Daria Gumbawale in the game and not Cam Akers.
I think the worst part last week was that J.J. Taylor got 6 carries. We just can't have that. He's back on the practice squad now, but if they call him up, we can't not. If Cam Akers is not going to get the passing downs work, he cannot lose 6 carries to J.J. Taylor. Like he's got to carries. Yeah. All right. Questions from the chat. I see Tyreek Hill or Deontay Johnson.
Johnson.
As a Wisconsin native, Wisconsin resident, let's not talk anymore about the baseball game last night. Okay, deal. Ramondre Stevenson or Trey Sermon if Jonathan Taylor's out?
I'll probably lean toward Ramondre Stevenson, but I'm nervous either way with both of those running backs.
Is the Eagles DST a stash for next week against the Browns?
We didn't talk about those Eagles DST or about any DSTs, Eagles or otherwise, but I've got a list of 3. 2 of them are not so great, and one of them is going to make you puke. The Chargers at Denver. That one's not so bad.
It's not bad.
Eagles against Cleveland.
No.
Do you want to trust the Eagles? It's against Cleveland. Nick Chubb might be back. But it's probably better than the Bengals against the Giants, unless the Giants don't have Malik Neighbors, which would be great for the Bengals DST. Terrible for everybody who's already going week 5 without Malik Neighbors, present company included.
Tolbert or Madison PPR?
Madison is safer.
Let's see. Madison or Emmanuel Wilson?
Madison. He's got a terrible week 6 matchup, though, against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. McLaurin or Amari Cooper, half PPR?
McLaurin.
Cooper. We'll see. This is it. This is the one matchup, Dave, that's going to decide Adam versus Dave in week 5. We're going to put everything on the line for McLaurin versus Cooper, okay?
Fine.
All right, yes. All right, as he also says, you guys rock. And yes, we do. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you very soon across many different platforms with fantasy football advice. See you later, everybody.
That cough, you sound